Carter Jr. and his family. Oh, I'm so excited about it because someday somebody's going to talk about me. Someday somebody is going to write about me. And Langston Hughes say it would be me myself. In the meantime, I will be talking to Mr. Joe Carter Sr. within the next 3 minutes. But in the meantime, schools continue to come to Freedom Center looking for information about the history of Americans. Some of the young people that visited Freedom Center through their school system was Javion Harris, Christopher Jennings, Marcus Versa, Christopher Williams, Brandon Thomas, Curtis Samuels, Robert Carter, Crystal Norman, Cassidy Anderson, Takoya Carter, Chastity Fales, Chastity Anderson, Kaana Trailer, Donald Jackson, Kanisha Fowler, Zachary Gaddis, Demario Benjamin, Kenyon Cobb, Mac Fitzgerald, Blake James, Alan Mosey, Brittany Thomas, Christian Brassard, Marion Jones, Sidney Blair, Christian Jones, Leslie Jefferson, Corey Colby, Tyann Featherson, Trevor Benjamin, Takesha Matthews, Gabriel Taylor, DeYonda Brown, Talene Lovelace, Tiffany Russell, Cloyce Knight, Christopher Kimber, Brandon Wilson, Samuel Collins, Bruce Carter, Keldrin Kimber, Clifton Howard, Jessica Weather, Rose Watts, Siobhan Williams. The teachers were Mrs. M. Golden, Miss L. Colby, Miss N. Reese, and the bus driver was Mr. Cleveland LaShaw. I want somebody to call me and tell me what school these young people were from. What school did these young people come from? This is a Clara Luper radio show, and this show is dedicated to Joe Carter, Clara Luper, and this is the Clara Luper radio show, and this is a special. We are proud of Joe Carter, and we are going to talk about Joe Carter today. In just a minute, you will hear from Joe Carter's father. How does it feel to be the father of Joe Carter Jr., a man that's not ashamed of his name, Joe Carter? As a Joe Carter Sr. and as a Joe Carter Jr. And we are so proud and we are so excited because you will hear something that has never been done before in America. No other radio reporter has ever talked for the next minute to the father of that young man that hit that ball. Yes, Joe Carter. We're going to have to find Joe Carter Sr. today. And he's supposed to be at First AME Church. And since that's Letty Ruth Hunter's church, we've just called out. Was he there, Chanel?
No.
Oh, he's not there, but we're going to get him, Mr. Carter, and he will be here. He will be talking to us today because this is a program in which we are going to say, we thank you, we are proud of you, Joe Carter. And the rest of this program is dedicated to Joe Carter, and we are going to talk about him. If you know anything about Joe Carter, please call me at 672-1220 because I want you to talk about Joe Carter. We spent a lot of time talking about the bad things that happen to our people, and we've got to spend some time talking about the good things that are happening to our people. And speaking of good things, let me tell you about Chancellor Shardina's preschool and nursery. Something special care of your children, taking care of a home of love, of service, of commitment. Now, that's located at 2611 North Martin Luther King. Those are the evening hours. You know about Chancellor Sardinas, located at 1643 Northeast 50th Street in Oklahoma City. I've told you for months about Mrs. Gloria Matthews, Mr. Paul Matthews, and that fine staff, located at 1643 Northeast 50th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I've told you that that is the top. If you want your child in a surrounding of learning how to become independent, call 424-4656. I'm waiting for Mr. Carter. Clara Luper. Hello? Hello? I know nothing could be wrong with my connection. I know that. I know everything is going to be all right, and we're going to get Mr. Carter. Hello? Okay, just bear with us because we are amateurs, but we are also professionals. We are going to find Mr. Joe Carter if he's in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, because we've got to talk to Mr. Carter. This is the Clara Luper Radio Show, and this part of the show is being brought to you by Carter. We are proud of Joe Carter. Yes, we are proud of Joe Carter. And we will be talking. Hello? I can hardly wait to get Mr. Carter on the air. And this is being made possible by a long time ago, but because today the world knows who Joe Carter is. Yes, we're going to find Mr. Carter. Page in Mr. Joe Carter Sr. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Clara, hi, this is Carolyn Carter. I'm Joe's little sister, and I thought I'd fill in until my dad surfaces.
Well, your dad better get in here because I'm telling you, this whole program belongs to the Carter family. And you are Carolyn?
I'm Carolyn,
How did you feel? And tell me a bit about your brother, Joe.
Joe has always been very mature for his
Speak
age.
out just a little bit louder for Clara.
Okay. Joe has always been very mature for his age. He's always been above the other members of his class that were his same age. He's always caring. He's always giving if he can. He's a very extraordinary person. He's always been business-minded. I mean, even when he was in the 6th grade, he was business-minded.
Oh, great. And you're proud of him.
Oh, it's beyond that. Yeah, I'm way up there.
Well, you are joining us today and saying we are proud of you.
Right. I'm glad. I appreciate your radio station. You taking time from your show to do this because it means a lot to our family that someone is recognizing Joby. But given the fact that he does not get the recognition he deserves, it still doesn't faze him one way or the other.
Well, I know one thing, and I want the whole world to know that in Oklahoma City we are proud of Joe Carter. Thank you so very kindly for calling, and I've got to find your father.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye. Those of you that want to talk about Joe Carter, this is your chance. The telephone number is 672-1220. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Mrs. Luper?
Yes?
This is Joe Carter Sr.
Well, Joe Carter Sr., you're 5 minutes late, and I've been telling my audience that we had to find you if we had to go all over Oklahoma City. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I have been here since 9 o'clock. I don't know what the problem is, but Mrs. Hunter can get me, but you can't.
Well, that's really something because somebody what did they tell you when you called out there, Chanel?
They told me that you had been gone for 15 minutes.
Okay, well, anyway, we got that straight, and our audience is waiting. They're waiting on their seats because they want to hear from Joe Carter. Now, I want to make sure that I'm talking to the Joe Carter. Am I?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Tell me about your children.
I didn't hear you, Miss Luper.
I want you to tell me about your children. I know you have a whole army. How many children do you have?
There are 11. There's 6 girls, 6 daughters, and 5 sons.
Just a minute now. You have 6 daughters. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And 5 sons.
Yes.
Okay, since we are saluting Joe Carter Jr., I want you to name those 6 sons of me and 5 daughters.
Okay, on the daughters, there's Charlotte, there's Darlene, there's Carolyn, there's Linus, there's Teresa. On the sons, there's Chip, which is Clarence, there's Charles, there's Joe, there's Larry, and there's Fred.
All right, now, you have a very beautiful wife. Would you tell me her name?
My wife's name is
Yes.
Ethelene.
Ethelene.
Most people call her AC.
Most people call her what?
AC.
All right, now, how long have you all been married?
Ms. Luper, we've been married 42 years this past September the 17th.
I don't mean to be personal, but are you still in love?
Yes, ma'am. I've never been any more in love with my wife at any time than I am today.
All right, today this is a day that we have proclaimed. We are proud of Joe Carter Jr. and his family. Now we want to talk about Joe Carter. Is he your 3rd son?
No, he is the 8th child.
Number 8.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about him.
Well,
I'm talking about as a little boy. We're going through the entire... You told me that you have 11 children. You loved your wife when you married her. You still love her.
Yes.
But now I want to talk about Joe Carter Jr.
You want to talk about Joe Jr.?
Yes, as a little boy.
Okay. Joe has always been far above his age as far as maturity is concerned. He's always been a dutiful little guy. And he started playing baseball when he was 6 years old. And he's still playing baseball. He used to come down to the station when he was about 11 or 12 downtown, and I had him, he was doing my books for me, and he was wiping windshields and waiting on customers and making correct change. This is at 6th and North Robinson.
What kind of business was that?
That was a Conoco service station.
Okay, and he was down there working.
Yes, he was working for his dad.
Okay.
And he wasn't tall enough to wipe the windshield, so he grabbed him he had him a 45-gallon bucket that he would get on to wipe the windshields. And that's where he learned more or less to communicate with people and get along and more or less possess what he had to in order to kind of find out what life was all about. And I had him a little salary, and he went on from there. He was a beautiful ball player in the midget, but that's 12 to 13 years old, and then he was recruited to go to Wichita State. He went to Millwood, of course. I don't want to overlook that. Then
okay, well, let's go back to the fact that he played on the midget team.
Yes.
Okay, now what is that?
That was Millwood Minks at the time. He was a midget then. He was 12 years old. And we had a team from Millwood, made up of Millwood young men. And it was a beautiful time. Jerry Simmeroth and myself was coaching them some at that time, and Frank Moore was helping me coach them. And we had a lot of good ball games. We learned a lot about life. We learned how to lose as well as win.
Okay, now let's talk about Joe Carter in high school at Millwood.
Okay, Joe was a football player. He was a basketball player. And he was a baseball player, and he also ran track for one time, which is the only athletic field that he required or received a All-State. That was in the broad jump.
All right, now I remember so well a radio program with you. Would you tell our radio audience about that and when it was?
Yes, it was in 1978, right after baseball season. I approached Mrs. Hunter and Mrs. Luper on their radio station. I forget the name of the station then, but I approached them, and we put out a request to those people that were selecting all-staters. I simply asked what was expected of a young man to be an all-stater. Joe ended up in senior year batting .675. I don't know, maybe Millwood wasn't recognized enough, or maybe they didn't actually have enough games played. But anyway, he ended up batting .675, and he was a super pitcher, and he played just about every position on the team. And he wasn't selected as an all-stater. Now, how can a young man leave high school, not an all-stater, selected at Oklahoma, and go to Wichita State and be an All-American for 3 years in a row? For its freshman.
Do you remember what I told you on that broadcast?
You told me, Mrs. Luper, that Joe would get his day. One day, man cannot hold it or take it away from it. And lo and behold, on October the 23rd...
Wait a minute, don't tell us what happened then. Let's go to Wichita, Kansas, and tell me what happened there. Did he get a scholarship in baseball?
He got a scholarship. They gave him one in football. Baseball was all filled up. And there's a lot of Oklahomans here that think Joe just skipped Oklahoma, but Joe was actually recruited to go to Oklahoma and play baseball. Gene Stevenson recruited him. And during the meantime, before the season started, Gene Stevenson was appointed head coach at Wichita State. And Joe went down to Oklahoma with Gene, and Seymour, which was a head coach then, he didn't even speak to Joe. He didn't even look his way. So Joe actually and naturally followed the person that had recruited him and showed some kindness towards his ability. So therefore, Joe followed him to Wichita State.
What happened at Wichita State?
He played football for 1 year. He was a punt return guy, and he played quarterback a little bit. But then Joe realized after football season was over, he participated in baseball, and he made All-American his freshman year, his sophomore year, and his junior year. He was selected as Baseball College Player of the Year, and he played in the international games in Cuba. And Fidel Castro, for whatever he's worth or whatever, then he told him he was one of the greatest baseball players he had ever known.
I want you to hold on because we will finish our conversation, but I want the people to know that today we are proud of Joe Carter and the Carter Family Day. We are proud of you. Langston Hughes told us how to do it. Someday, somebody's going to talk about me. Somebody's going to write about me, and it will be me myself. And congratulations are coming in from your Allstate Insurance agent, Merlin Hildred. I better say Joe Carter's family, because there are a lot of Carters out there, and I want to make sure I have the right family. Dr. Eric Akers, a dentist. Those of you that need to see a dentist, we would invite you to go by Eric. I'm talking to Mr. Joe Carter Sr., probably the proudest father in the United States. But I can't say that because this week, everywhere I've gone, people have been talking about Joe Carter. Mr. Carter, okay, now we have taken Joe Carter Jr. through school, and we have him at Wichita State. Where do we go from here?
Well, he was drafted in 1981 by the Chicago Cubs. He played in their minor league system for 2.5 years. Then they traded him to Cleveland. And Cleveland was a stepping stone for Joe. Cleveland was a losing team at the time. Joe needed Cleveland, and Cleveland needed Joe. In the 8 years he played for them, he averaged 30 home runs and had over 100 RBIs every year.
All right, don't throw that baseball language on me. I'm from Hoffman, Oklahoma. We didn't have a baseball team. When you say RBI, what are you talking
That's
about?
Run batted in.
All right.
Joe doesn't get excited until he sees men in scoring position, and then his concentration goes up, and he's more eager, and he concentrates a little bit better.
All right, let's go.
That's the main source that people pay for, and that's hitting home runs and batting in runs.
All right, now we are in Cleveland. Where do we go from here?
Yes, ma'am. From Cleveland, we go to San Diego. They traded him I imagine Joe was a little bit disturbed that so many people, he was so good at what he does, and so many people would want to trade him, but there is a demand for power hitters in baseball. Not only baseball, football, basketball, anything else. People that produce, they actually, other teams want them. And if they can get what they want in return, then they're traded. It's just a business. There's politics and everything else in baseball and every other game. But he went from there to San Diego one year. He had a beautiful year there, and he really loved it. He purchased him a home in San Diego, and he played for them 1 year. And lo and behold, when the season was
interrupting, but I just received a call from Mrs. Carter, and I've been informed that Joe Carter Jr. is going to call in just a little bit.
Oh, great, great. Joe Carter Jr. is going to call in. What a day. What a program. Thank you for interrupting us.
That's better than Dad.
No, I don't know about that. Now,
well, thank you.
Let's go to Toronto and tell us what happened.
Toronto, this is his second year. Last year they won the World Series. I believe Joe hit 33 homers, and he had around 108, 115 RBIs. And this year they was in the 6th game.
Okay, now don't tell me that. I don't want you to tell me that now. I want to ask you a question. There are a lot of kids that grow up and turn against their parents. Did you get to see, you and your lovely wife, did you get to see any of Joe's games?
Mrs. Luper, we saw 3 games last year in Toronto of the World Series, and we wanted to go to the playoffs this year, but Joe said, well, would you guys rather go to the playoff or the World Series? I said, what do you mean rather go? Do we have a choice? I mean, you actually know or believe that you're going to be in the World Series? He said, we're going to be there. So I said, well, okay, we'll just take the World Series in. So he made it possible for us to go to every World Series game that was played, Philadelphia and Toronto.
Now, Mr. Carter,
yes,
we have no idea what it's like to go to a World Series game. Will you break it down for us?
Okay, Mrs. Luper, can you just use imagination? You got 52,000 screaming people. This is the highlights of baseball all over the world, not just the United States, but all over the world. All the TV stations are focused in. They're showing presidents, and both baseball teams are involved. And it's a yearly event, and it is one of the highlights of all America. Baseball, apple pies, and Chevrolet or whatever. But anyway, World Series is special to all those that know about baseball. It is where the 2 best teams, the American and the National League, collide to see who is the champion of World Series of the whole world. It was Philadelphia Phillies and the Toronto Blue Jays.
All right, now we are up to that year, the year of years, the year in which history was made, 1993. Tell me about that series.
Okay, they was up 3-2. They were in Toronto, Saturday night, October the 23rd, approximately 11 p.m. Toronto was behind 5-6. Ricky Henderson led off the bottom of the 9th inning with a walk.
Yes.
Then Devon White flied out.
Yes.
Then Paul Molitor got a single. There was runners at first and second with 1 out.
First and second with 1 out. Then what happened?
Then Joe will come to the plate.
Joe Carter from Oklahoma City,
yes,
Oklahoma.
Yes,
a man that Oklahoma denied the right of being an all-stater. Yes. Now Joe comes to the plate.
Yes.
What happens?
Ms. Luper, I thought you were going to let me explain that.
No, I'm not going to let you explain that. I had to get that in, but tell me what happened.
I understand. Anyway, the count was 2 strikes and 2 balls.
Okay, let's take that first strike. Bang.
Okay, the first strike was Joe. I'm not sure about the first strike, but the second strike he swung at. And
he swung at it, okay.
Right. And there was the 2 balls.
2 balls.
Yes. Then the third pitch, the 5th pitch.
The 5th pitch.
Joe swung.
Joe swung.
The ball went into left field, went into the air. Everybody jumped. I'm sorry, they didn't jump up. We were already standing.
You were already standing.
The ball headed up towards the lights. It's a dome, enclosed, and all the lights, and Joe started towards for first base. He knew the ball was up there, but he didn't know whether it was out or not. He knew he hit it well. And when he started towards first base, within 15 to 20 feet of first base, he looked up.
He looked
and
up.
He lost the ball in the lights. And then he got near first base, and he saw the arc of the ball coming down.
Oh, my gracious.
And he jumped up. He knew the ball was gone.
Joe
This
jumped
is
up.
only the second time in world baseball, world history, that this has been done.
When was the first time it was done?
Done in 1960, Bill Mazeroski done it for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 19th.
Well, that's 33 years ago.
Yes, ma'am. There's only 2 times in the whole world of baseball, Mrs. Luper. So I can identify that with a blessing. It's a blessing. God can only do things like that through Joe.
All right, now, let's see now. There's Joe. There's the ball. What happened to that ball?
The ball went into the bullpen over the left field fence. It went into the bullpen, and one of the pitchers, the dad of one of the relief pitchers, retrieved it, and he gave it to Joe after the ball game. During the meantime, Joe was running around the bases that I'm sure everybody in America has seen how elated and how happy.
Well, they call that
he
the
was.
Joe Carter dance. See, Joe Carter
Yes.
has brought a new dance to America. The Joe Carter dance, and there's some kids that's writing a song trying to really go for it.
He was hopping, he was jumping, he was turning, doing 360s, and he wanted to make sure that he touched home plate. He had to weave his way through all of his teammates, and there was a fan jumped the fence and was coming out there running right with him, and it was a beautiful sight. When he touched home plate, it was all over. The people just went, wow. I extended my hands, and I thank God for this miracle.
And something else happened to you, too, that I want people to tell. I want you to tell my audience about, because they are waiting now. They are waiting to hear more of the Joe Carter story.
Mrs. Luper, do we really have to tell this?
No, we don't have to tell it. We'll keep that.
One gentleman was there, and he had been drinking quite a bit. He sit on the row in front of me. Everybody was so elated and so happy. We was jumping and he getting high fives and missing them, and all at once I knew someone had held me and grabbed me, and lo and behold, the gentleman kissed me on the jaw. And but I was so happy till I didn't even notice it. I just felt it, and I know it was a man, so therefore I stopped a little bit, but I kept celebrating.
Well, what did Mrs. Carter do?
Mrs. Carter was covered up by people high-fiving. She was crying, bless her heart. She had prayed, and and my daughter was crying, Darlene.
Which daughter? How many daughters did you have up there?
Just Mom and Darlene. I tried to console Darlene to keep her from crying. She was just boo-hooing.
Darlene was boo-hooing?
Yes, ma'am. She was crying
great.
like she had had a spanking.
Oh, my gracious.
And all at once, I tried to console her, and lo and behold, I started crying like a baby. So it was just a beautiful sight. It was a highlight of my life.
You haven't seen anything until you've seen and heard from the people in Oklahoma. They were crying, they were jumping up. And I want to talk about that Lady Ruth Hunter. She just went crazy. Oh, I've never seen anything like it. And boy, she got on top of Clara. Did you say? I said, bye, Letty. I've got to see the rest of the story.
Well, Mrs. Luper, I thank God for all of this goodness and all of his mercy and all of his grace. I thank God for all of my friends and supporters of Joe and my family out there, and I thank you for what you're doing. You're doing what a lot of us should be doing or don't have the nerve to do.
Mr. Carter, don't talk about Clara Luper, because this is Joe Carter's and his family's day. Now, Mr. Carter,
yes.
Does Joe belong to a church?
Joe belongs to a Baptist church in Wichita right now, and he transferred his membership to the Church of Harvest in Kansas City. That's where he is attending right now.
Okay, I understand that he's a supporter of the First AME Church where you and your lovely wife are members.
Yes, this is where he started his church life. He was baptized here, the First AME.
And he's
Pastor
still...
Harold C. Davis is our pastor, and God bless him and his lovely family. And also I want to mention one man's name, Reverend C.T. Carrington, has been an inspiration to me, and he helped me get back and realize that there is a God, and there should be someone that's greater than we for what we have received, and he has been a great, respectable person in my life.
All right, now, Mr. Joe Carter, Sr., we are expecting a call from Joe Carter,
Yes.
Jr.,
Yes.
and when that call comes in, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off.
Well, hey, I don't blame you. I'll take a cutoff any day for you to speak to the original.
Okay, now Joe has really taken care of his family, right?
Yes. Jim
Tell me
has
about
a
his
few.
wife and how many kids does he have?
Diana is his wife, and he has Kia, which is a daughter. She's 11, and Ebony is 9, and Jordan is 3. He's the big December 25th Christmas son. Joe was about ready to give up on having a son, and I told him, boy, as much money as you make around here, it's just not right. What happens to the Carter family? Don't do that. So lo and behold, here come a big Christmas boy.
Born on Christmas Day?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I know that you are truly happy.
Yes, ma'am.
And here is, I want you to hold on now, please. And I would like to thank the people at First AME for giving us the opportunity to talk to you during this period. And I understand there's a very important meeting that's going on there at First AME. Is that right?
Yes, we are having all of our ministers here are meeting with our presiding elder today, and they're paying their last of their budget for this year.
Okay.
So I believe my pastor might want to use this phone, Mrs. Luper. I know this is a big ordeal, and I appreciate everybody's concern. And if Joe's going to be calling in pretty soon, I'm sure he'll be on the line pretty soon. I wouldn't want to stop that call.
Okay, well, you aren't going to stop that call because when Joe called, we cutting everything off.
Okay.
Mr. Carter,
Yes.
I would like to thank you and your beautiful family, every one of your kids. Each one has done an outstanding job for America. The Carter kids belong to all of us, and we thank God for them. And when Carter comes to town, we want to name a street after Carter, the Joe Carter Avenue, the Joe Carter Boulevard, the Joe Carter Street. And I would ask all of you people that have children, I want you to talk about Joe Carter. We spent a lot of time talking about gang leaders and everything. We want you to know about Joe Carter and that family. Thank you, Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Mrs. Luper.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You heard about Joe Carter. What do you want to do? Are you proud of Joe Carter, Chanel?
Yes.
Okay, but tell the people out in Radio Land.
I'm very proud of Joe Carter Jr. I think he's a wonderful person from what I've heard, and I hope he continues in success.
Okay, Alicia Hildreth, you have heard about Joe Carter, and this is his day. And the name of this day is We Are Proud of Joe Carter and the Carter Family. You may call me at 672-1220. Alicia?
I think that Joe Carter is a very special person, and I also think that he will do better in life, and I hope that he will strive for the best.
Okay, the best. The best. This is the Clara Luper radio show, and today's show is being made possible by Edwards Redeemer, located at 1530 Northeast Grand Boulevard in Oklahoma City. Edwards Redeemer, where you can get the best in service. 1530 Northeast Grand Boulevard in Oklahoma City. What I would like for you to do is to go to Edwards Redeemer, where you can see for yourself. 1530 Northeast Grand Boulevard. The telephone number is 424-2273. Edwards God's Redeemer, 1530 Northeast Grand Boulevard in Oklahoma City. The NACP Youth State Conference will be held in Tulsa on December the 4th, and we invite each church in Oklahoma City to send a representative. We want to show our young people something that's special. Clara Luper, hello?
Yes, Clara.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good. This is Joe Carter.
Joe Carter Jr.?
Yeah, because I think you had senior already on there.
Let me scream. Whoopee! Whoopee! I got Joe. Okay, Joe. Today is your day in Oklahoma City. We are proud of Joe Carter and the Carter family. Joe, you brought so much happiness to us. And today, in spite of everything, tears begin to roll down my cheeks. I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you very much. Oklahoma's meant a lot to me, and I know I haven't lived there the past 7 years, but you'll never forget the days that I spent in Oklahoma. And I was listening to my father talk earlier about when we first went on your show back in 1978. It's been a long time. We've come from a long way, but it just shows you that what can happen when you live out your dreams. You go out there, you can dream. You feel that you can be confident in yourself, and you go out there and you have fun.
Joe, did you ever dream that you would become the international known Joe Carter?
Well, I never thought about it from an international standpoint. I knew I always had the ability. I had confidence in myself that I could go out there and I could succeed. And the one thing I was not going to let anybody do was deter me from my goal, from my dream, and that's to have been a Major League Baseball player. So much was done in Oklahoma, so much was said, and a lot of times I didn't really get the recognition, but those are things that motivated me. I can look back now and see all the guys who supposedly were supposed to make it never made it. And here I am after 10 years in the big leagues, still playing and still producing.
Joe, keep talking. I just want to hear you talk. Keep talking. I love it. I love it. I had so many questions for you. And now that I'm talking to you, my questions have gone down to Hoffman, Oklahoma.
You can't remember them, huh?
I'm just so glad to hear your voice.
Well, it's good to hear yours, too. You've been a mainstay there in Oklahoma for a long time, and we appreciate everything that you've done for the community. You've really done a lot.
You don't know how much you meant to this city. And sometimes you are our diamond. You are our baseball diamond, and you are shining. Tell me, Joe, we have a new dance. We call it the Joe Carter dance. And we try to do it just like you. We are going to put some words to it, and we are going to use it. We want to know when are you coming home, and we want to turn out. We want to name a street in Oklahoma City after you, and I want to name one in Hoffman, Oklahoma after you. Oh, Joe, we are so proud of you.
Thank you very much. Like I say, it's meant a lot to me. All the things that have been happening to me here the last 3-4 days since I've been home. Right now, we're in the middle of building our house here in Kansas City, and family time is very important to me.
Okay, look, tell me what happened. Wait, how did you feel when you knocked that home run that changed baseball history?
Well, when it happened, I really didn't know that it was going out because I lost the ball in the light. Because I didn't, when I did finally see it, I still didn't know if it was going to have enough to get out because I had a lot of top spin on the ball, and I thought it may come down and hit the wall. But when I saw the ball go out, you cannot believe the rush and excitement. It was something that I had dreamed about for a long time as a little kid. You see a lot of players like Dave Henderson hitting the home run in Game 6 of the ALCS against the Angels back in '86. Kirby Puckett in '91 hitting the game-winning home run in the bottom of the 10th. And you see the way they react. You said, wow, just once I'd like to get that chance to see how I would react. Would I be cool under pressure? Would I, be excited and jump up and down? And I think everybody could see exactly just what I did because I was on cloud 9. I was jumping up and down, and it was very exciting. And once I touched home plate and my teammates mobbed me, I just had my eyes closed. I was thanking God that what had just happened, but in a sense, he still didn't believe it. It was like, man, we just won the world championship, and I just hit the game-winning home run. And this is something that's going to be remembered for as long as there's baseball on the face of this earth.
What happened to you after the game?
Well, what didn't happen to me? The first thing I told my wife was, I said, well, there goes all our privacy. Because, I'm the type of guy who likes to just be the normal guy next door. I'm not caught up in all the egos or, feel that I'm better than anybody because I'm not. So I like to be able to go out to eat, to go out to the malls, and just be a regular person. God has given me a lot of ability to play the game, and all I'm doing is playing the game with the talent he's given me. But after the game, I think the game was over by about 11:40. I didn't think I left the clubhouse until close to 1:30, almost 2 o'clock, because of so many interviews. My mother and father and sister, Darlene, were there, and my father-in-law, and of course, my beautiful wife. It was just spending some time with them and realizing just what had just transpired, what had just happened.
All right, now, after you are now the best that we have in the world, what opportunities, new opportunities do you have? What places where do we go from here?
Well, right now, I'm back to being just a regular person now. I've got to take the trash out and, cook breakfast for the kids. They want me to cook breakfast, take them to school. Things befitting of a hero, so to speak. But that's the way that I like to do things. So I'm not really worried, about, a lot of people will, go here and do this and, try to take advantage of every single thing. That's not me. I just go out there, like I say, I've had fun playing the game. It's been great to me. I enjoy all the things that have come from it. But I enjoy more being around my family and doing things with them, especially in a time where the off season has been cut short. So, I don't want to, go out and do too many things where you're going to take away time. But I know this Monday night I will be on the Arsenio Hall show, so that's kind of something I wanted to do for a long time, and I finally made that. And that's one of the few things that I will be doing this year.
The NACP Youth Council wanted you to come to Tulsa on December the 4th, but we know you could not. Would you do a video for about 5 minutes and tell those young people that you made it and they can make it and send it to us so we can show it in Tulsa on December the 4th?
Well, sure, that won't be no problem. I think I can arrange for that.
Okay, well, we are looking forward to it, and the NACP Youth Convention will be held in Tulsa on December the 4th, and we are talking about making it anyway. All right, I know that I am just so thrilled, and I know my radio audience will never be the same, but I would like to take this opportunity to say thanks again. And remember, this is your day in Oklahoma, and we will be jumping all over Oklahoma. In Holdenville, Oklahoma, they will be saying, "We love Joe Carter and his entire family."
Well, I thank you very much, Clara, and I do thank the people from Oklahoma and Oklahoma City there for doing the things that they've done for me. Like I say, I'm always proud to be an Oklahoman. I know a lot of people, whenever we play, it's like they think that we're representing, that we're not a part of USA. And we'll go play teams, and they'll be chanting USA, USA, because I play in Canada. But I'm more American than anybody than the guy next door. Well, unfortunately, I play in Canada, and I do, put a lot of my effort. You don't feel like you're playing for another country. You feel like you're representing. I'm always, wherever I went, I've always represented Oklahoma, and hopefully it's been in a good way, and not in a bad way. But I appreciate everything that everybody's done in Oklahoma, and I can say that, yeah, we will be back there. It'll probably be sometime after Christmas. But we're looking to have a great time.
Well, when you come home after Christmas, I want you and your lovely family to be my special guest for one of those good old Hoffman cooked meals, okay?
All right, that sounds like a winner.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Clara.
We are proud of Joe Carter's Day, and there you have it. You have heard from Joe Carter Sr. and Joe Carter Jr. This has been made possible by Brown's Country Inn, located at 1130 Northeast 25th Street. It's a home away from home. You don't have to be lonesome. You can go to Brown's Country Inn and you will be taken care of. The telephone number is 424-4780. Mr. Rowley Brown. You know Mr. Rowley Brown, and you know that Brown has a tradition of taking care of people. That's at Brown's Country Inn, 1130 Northeast 25th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Marilyn Hildred, your Allstate Insurance agent, say call her at 843-0811. Mrs. Gloria Matthews and Mr. Paul Matthews join us today in saluting the Carter family. This is the Clara Luper Radio Show, and this has been a show. Hello? Hello? I know the telephone's ringing out here. I know it. Hello?
Hello.
Yes?
Clara, this is Ella Walker.
Yes, Elder.
All right, I know you know me. We've talked. I'm kind of somewhat afflicted now, but I'm Ella Walker out here at Spencer.
Yes.
And so the night that Joe Carter hit that home run, I was sitting on the side of the bed, and I spoke to Joe. I know he couldn't hear me. I said, but Joe, I want a home run. And so before I could get it out of my mouth, that boy had put that ball over. My wife thought I was going crazy in the bedroom. She came in. But anyway, we let these people know out there, these young people know that they can be somebody. They can reach a goal. And I thank God for Joe Carter today.
Well, thank you, Reverend Elder Walker. Thank you so very kindly. And I do have another call. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
I'd like to congratulate Joe Carter.
Now, who are you?
This is your nephew, David Hall.
Yes, David Hall. I know you're proud of Joe
And
Carter.
I am taping this program, and I'd like to know if anybody wants this tape.
Wait a minute, Joe. Wait, you can't do that. Because we have to sell those tapes now. Because we'll get you under the rules and regulation of our station. But thank you for calling to congratulate Joe Carter. And let me tell you something. We've got to congratulate our own. We don't have to wait on anybody else to do it. We're going to have to do it ourselves. And speaking of that, today I would like to appeal to you again to help our young people go to Tulsa to the state conference. Now, if you don't believe lives can be changed, you come up to Freedom Center and we will show you. But today it has been this is some show, nothing like it in the United States. Hello? Hello? Okay.
This is Lady Ruth Hunter. I want to say hello to all the radio audience, and I definitely want to come in and say congratulations to Joe Carter, because Joe Carter's father and mother and all of their sisters and brothers, I have been experienced with them because they belong to my church, First AME.
And now what's the name of your church?
First AME.
Okay.
And I want to congratulate Joe Carter because I, too, had a dance because I didn't go to bed until that last ball was pitched and the last score was made and the last out was made.
So you
I want to say congratulations to Joe Carter and happiness to his family.
Thank you. Now, Lady Ruth Hollis during that Joe Carter dance. I know we're going to see that dance when Joe comes home. And today is a day that we pause and we say, thank you to Joe Carter and the entire Carter family. I have time for one more call. Hello? Hello? Okay, if I don't get you in, don't blame me because I have tried.
Miss Luper,
Yes?
this is Mrs. Joe Carter, Joe Carter's mother.
Yes, Mrs. Carter.
I thought I'd let you know that I'm listening to your program and that I'm very proud of Joe. And I think he have made everyone proud of what he have done.
Well, I'm so proud. I'm on cloud nine. I'll be talking about this all day and all day tomorrow. And Mrs. Carter, I'm proud of you. You're a very beautiful mother. And I thank God for you every day.
Well, thank you, Miss Lupe.
And I just thank God for you and your family. And thank you so very kindly for calling.
Okay, thank you.
As I look at the clock on the wall, I know today will be a day to remember. I would like to appeal to our young people to be somebody. Make a contribution. Don't let drugs, gangs, or nothing turn you around. I want you to go to the top because there's plenty room at the top. Now, I am really upset about the adults that are buying stolen goods. Now, you adults know that your child does not own a VCR store and what have you, and they bring one in your house. You have a responsibility. The children are looking to you for leadership. And I call upon you young people to stop stealing. And when you go to jail, you sit up there and cry and want everybody to feel sorry for you. You don't have to steal. You don't have to fight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Clara Luper that has produced the greatest radio show in the history of the United States. Nothing else like it. Who ever heard of a show where you have the top man baseball player in the United States and in the world? You hear from his father, his sister, and you hear from his darling mother. You hear from Lady Ruth, and from all of us here at the station, we say we are proud to proclaim this as Joe Carter's Day, and Mr. Gates are all smiling because the Carter family's hair is always cut in the Gates barbershop. Clara Luper saying, I do love you.
Chance for you to win a free recording session at the State Fair of Oklahoma's Travel and Transportation Building, only from your friends at KTLV Radio.
This is Clara Luper, Selma, and I'm at risk. I'm glad to be speaking to one of the board members, and I say that all of you are at risk. Give it to me.
This is Luper.
Yes.
I think you need to get the record straight.
Okay, give it to me.
The record being straight is this. Each time that you have called me to appear on your program, I have had either a speaking engagement or I have been involved with workshops or seminars. I have never refused to come on your program, and I've never told you that I was too busy, because my concern...
Aren't you busy when you couldn't come?
Busy, but I had already had an engagement.
Well, isn't that being busy?
Don't wait my engagements to come on your program or anybody else's program when I'm already committed.
Okay, now when can you commit yourself to Clara Luper's radio show?
Pardon?
When can you come on my radio show?
No, I'll have to check my calendar and see. I don't just plan these things. Last week I was in Muskogee speaking to the National Sorority of Phi Delta Kappa, and then the week before then I was at a workshop for the Round Table Education, and so it goes on and on.
But I want the people to hear from you, because I have stated that I didn't like the at-risk plan.
I don't like it either, as far as that's concerned, and I think what they did when they put in the Phoenix plan, I have expressed myself about that. I said I would not criticize the Phoenix plan until we've had an opportunity to see it at work. This was not my plan. As a matter of fact, the board adopted this while I was attending a professional meeting in Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, I'm so happy to hear you speak out against the plan. Now, what the people want, that's talked to me, they want those signs down on the schools that segregate them.
Okay, you have said that I'm glad that you're speaking out. I was not here to approve.
But you're here now, so speak out against it.
But what I'm saying to you is that when this plan was adopted, and I said then I would not criticize the plan until we've had an opportunity for it to work.
Are you saying that you won't criticize Selma? Wait a minute, Selma. Are you saying you won't criticize a plan that is saying that the teachers on the northeast side have been inferior and they should be removed?
I will not criticize any plan until it gets into operation. I don't like the process by which they selected the teachers, because we had two black teachers or principals who were demoted when this Phoenix plan came into action. But then we had a white principal who was at one of the at-risk schools. When she was transferred, she was not demoted. She was given a principalship. And I deplore that kind of transferring and that kind of establishing administrators.
Well, I like it, Selma. Excuse me, our time is running out, and I like that. I want you to come out here with that same vim and let the people know where you stand.
I'm telling you, but I didn't like what you said when you said I'm too busy.
Well, you said you were too busy. You said you were in Tulsa, you were in Muskogee. You said that.
I was in those places, but when you tell my constituents that you
Okay, as I look at my constituents and I'm too busy because I'm never too busy with them. Okay, our problem now, I spend 3/4 of my waking hours answering questions about things that central office should be answering down there, and it burns me up when I have to spend my waking hours answering dumb questions about why doesn't the bus run and why are the teachers out as late as Thursday before school starts. Okay, we are out of time, and I want to tell you that some of those buses got 4 kids sitting on one seat. This is Clara Luper talking to her friend Thelma, and Thelma says she was burning. I'm not burning, but I'm at risk. And wherever you are and whatever you do, stay out of trouble. And remember, CP's catfish cafe. Bye-bye. She was a member of the Shiloh Baptist Church and graduated from Douglas High School in 1961. Attended college at Central State University in Wilberforce, Ohio, with a Bachelor of Science degree in education. After graduation from college, she moved to Cleveland, Ohio, and was united in marriage to Perry Foy, who preceded her in death. After her husband's death, she moved back to Oklahoma City to be with her family. She was employed at the time of her death at the Sheraton Century Center Hotel and was currently working on a master's degree from Central State University in Edmond. Many of you will know Janice through her sister, the lovely Mrs. Jessie Mae Thomas McCarver, her brother William W. Thomas of Cleveland, and James Harold Thomas of Oklahoma City, and her dear niece, Florence Denise Steele. She was killed accidentally, and today at 11 o'clock, a large number of people gathered to say goodbye to Janice Foy. Yesterday, Terry Clark went to pick up his 8-year-old daughter. Something happened. Someone has stated that he had a heart attack, lost control of his car, but Terry Clark, an employee at FAA here in Oklahoma City, is dead. I have just left the scene of a murder in Oklahoma City. There's a killer. There's a killer loose in Oklahoma City. I've just left the scene. The policemen are there, 4 police cars, the news reporters, a large number of people in automobiles, some are standing, children are on bicycles. No one could believe it. 1613 Northeast 24th Street was a scene. A house, a small house. But within that house, someone killed an 84-year-old lady. Some say she was beaten to death. I stood with her lovely daughter, Velma Lee Harris. What can you say to a daughter when mother is inside beaten to death? Many of you will remember Mrs. Ernestine Jones. She's a member of the Madison Church of the Living God. Elder Huggins is a minister. Let me repeat, Mrs. Ernestine Jones is dead. She is now inside her home at 1613 Northeast 24th Street. Her son has been rushed to Oklahoma Memorial Hospital, and he is now in the emergency room. We do have the facts for you that Mrs. Ernestine Jones, an 84-year-old lady in Oklahoma City at 1613 Northeast 24th Street, has been killed. Those of you that live in her neighborhood, you remember she would always go out in the yard and pick up flowers or pick up paper. But Mrs. Ernestine Jones is dead. She has 6 children. Grandchildren are standing out with tears in their eyes. Neighbors cannot believe it. But inside that house that is now being shut off, the policeman has a yellow ribbon around so that no one can come near. And if you are in that neighborhood, I would say to you, and I'm not going to try to tell you what to do, but that block is just about blocked off. 1613 Northeast 24th Street. someone has killed one of our senior citizens. Mrs. Ernestine Jones is in that house, and we do not know whether or not there are more people in that house that have been killed. I talked to Mrs. Velma Lee Harris, her daughter, and she told me that every day she goes by to see about her mother. And this is what she found today. Once again, Mrs. Ernestine Jones, who lives at 1613 Northeast 24th Street, has been murdered. They say that she has probably been beaten to death. The mother of 6 children, and they were preparing a party for her 85th birthday, which would have been March the 25th. A dismal story, a dismal day. That's 1613 Northeast 24th Street, and if you are in that area, be aware that there is a killer in Oklahoma City. Now, those of you that are senior citizens and are not, make sure that your windows are locked, your doors are locked. Stay in contact with someone, call someone every day. And those of you that are out, don't kill our senior citizens. In fact, don't kill anyone. Don't do it. Clara Luper reporting, and this portion of our program is being brought to you by Rainbow, and Rainbow is good bread. Today I have reported for you 2 deaths. 3 really. Janice died accidentally, Terry Clark accidentally, and I'm reporting to you about Mrs. Ernestine Jones, whose body is now at 1613 Northeast 24th Street, where a large number of people have gathered outside. Yes, this is the Clara Luper Radio Show. I have something that I really want you to know that's happening in Oklahoma City. Sam's Barbecue is open at 401 West Wilshire. And I'm going to be talking to Pat within a few minutes, and Pat is going to tell us about that big barbecue. Yes, Clara Luper's radio show. Clara Luper?
This is Ron Aiken from Langston University.
Okay, Ron, I'd like to get my lines mixed up, but I'm always happy to hear from you. What's going on at Langston University?
Presently, the football program is in the midst of recruiting season, and I'd like to announce, Clara, some of the young men that have decided to join Langston University. Out of Oklahoma City, Roy Graham Jr. from Crooked Oak High School signed up Langston University, and right now, Clara, I am in McAllister, Oklahoma, and Howard Keefe Jr. from McAllister High School also signed with us. Clara, also, we had about 5 young men that left Bishop College's football program because they dropped their football program, and they have joined us at Langston University. They are Stanford Binkley, a quarterback, Raymond Mills, a running back, Lawrence Bears, a wide receiver, and David Brooks, a defensive back. Also, Clara, Wichita State dropped their football program. A young man from their program decided to return home. He's from Tulsa. That is, Roy Christian has also decided join Langston University's football program. And also we've got a commitment from Bill Craven. He's also a Tulsa ball player that's also planning to come to Langston University. And Clara, also the next couple of weeks we're hoping to sign some of the ball players from Millwood High School and also from John Marshall and also Southeast High School. I am not going to give their names on the radio because that's against NCAA regulations. But so Clara, as you can see, our recruiting season is going fine, and we're hoping that these young men will come into our program and be able to make a contribution academically as well as athletically and help return Langston University to prominence athletically.
Well, that certainly is good news, because you remember what I told you last year. The people, you remember?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to constantly remind you of it.
Okay.
See, I would like to invite your football players to Oklahoma City next Sunday at 3 p.m. At that time, Spencer Tillman will be speaking at a Black Heritage celebration at 5th Street Baptist Church, 801 Northeast 5th Street.
801 Northeast 5th Street.
Yes. And not only that, we are honoring some of our outstanding